What do you do when you get fired from the company you created? It sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to Steve Jobs, the man who co-founded Apple in his parents' garage. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into something, building it from the ground up, only to be kicked to the curb. It's a story that's almost too wild to be true, but it happened. And how he bounced back is one of the greatest comeback stories in business history. So, let's rewind to 1985. Apple was a major player in the tech world, thanks to the revolutionary Macintosh computer. But behind the scenes, things were getting heated. Jobs was known for his intense, passionate, and sometimes difficult personality. He had a grand vision for Apple, but his methods often clashed with the company's board of directors and the CEO he had personally recruited, John Sculley. Jobs wanted to push innovation at all costs, while Sculley, who came from Pepsi, was more focused on stability and traditional business structures. The tension built up over months. Jobs was seen as a maverick, a creative genius who was also a bit of a loose cannon. The board, including Sculley, started to see him as a liability, someone whose disruptive nature could harm the company's bottom line. They felt his projects were draining resources without delivering enough profit. The power struggle came to a head, and in a dramatic boardroom showdown, the board sided with Sculley. Steve Jobs was stripped of all his operational duties. At just 30 years old, the visionary founder was effectively fired from his own company. Can you imagine the feeling? Utter devastation. Public humiliation. In his own words, Jobs later said, "I was a very public failure." He felt like he had let everyone down. For a few months, he was lost. He considered leaving Silicon Valley for good. He was the face of Apple, and suddenly, he was out. The very thing that had been the focus of his entire adult life was gone. Most people would have been crushed by this, maybe given up entirely. But this wasn't most people. This was Steve Jobs. After the initial shock wore off, something incredible happened. He realized that being fired, as painful as it was, had a silver lining. He said, the heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. This newfound freedom sparked his creativity in a way it hadn't been in years. Instead of disappearing, he got back to work. He founded a new company called Next, which focused on creating powerful computers for universities and businesses. The technology developed at Next was incredibly advanced for its time. But he didn't stop there. He also saw potential in a small computer graphics division of Lucasfilm, which he bought for $10 million and renamed Pixar. Yes, that Pixar. Under his leadership, Pixar went on to create the world's first computer-animated feature film, Toy Story, and completely revolutionized the animation industry. Suddenly, Jobs wasn't just the guy who got fired from Apple. He was a pioneer in two different industries. He was proving that his vision and drive weren't just a fluke. Meanwhile, back at Apple, things weren't going so well. Without Jobs' vision, the company began to lose its innovative edge. They were struggling, releasing a confusing line of products and losing market share. By 1997, Apple was on the brink of bankruptcy. In a move that no one saw coming, Apple bought Next for $429 million, primarily to acquire its advanced operating system. And with that deal came the return of its original founder, Steve Jobs, who initially came back as an advisor. His return was electrifying. He quickly took charge, streamlined the product line, and introduced a new marketing campaign with the slogan, "Think Different." He was reinstalled as CEO and began one of the most remarkable corporate turnarounds in history. He led the charge on creating the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad products that not only saved Apple, but changed the world and how we interact with technology forever. So what's the takeaway from this incredible story? Getting fired from Apple was, in Jobs' own words, the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It forced him to rediscover his passion, to innovate in new ways, and ultimately, made him a better leader. It shows us that sometimes, Our greatest setbacks are actually setups for our biggest comebacks. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what you do with it. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's just a detour on the path to something even greater. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.